Let's see. Let's start with the star. Now, the star, this can stand for creating your wildest dreams, but this main star here looks like there is a focus that you have been kind of avoiding for a while, Gemini, and that could be something to do with your happiness and your joy and your bliss. But it looks like you're giving out a lot of your energy and not bringing it back to you. So please include yourself in gifting. Whether it's time, whether it's money, whether it's managing things, or just taking time and energy for yourself. No is not a bad word. It can be a complete sentence with a capital N and a period at the end of the O. So it looks like you're over gifting. You're over gifting and really probably a little tired, could be exhausted, could be working extra hours, cleaning up other people's messes in the family, things like that. But now it's time to refocus on your highest dreams and desires. And that's what the star does. It kind of brings back your focus to self. Let you be the star, if you will, for a minute, instead of giving and giving and giving. And for those of you that are working too hard, I encourage you to take some time off and sleep in, do the things that you've put on the back shelf for far too long. And for many of you, I'm feeling either a change in job or a release in job for those that are getting ready to retire. But it does feel like you are really working too hard and giving too hard. And that can be on a personal side as well. You know, if you're cleaning up your kids' messes, your sister's messes, taking care of your parents. And, you know, those are all very important and necessary things to do. But it's also important to carve out some time for you, some mental health days for you, and not do so much for other people. I'm not saying being selfish and cut everybody off, but make you a priority, please, in the month of May. Ace of Pentacles is here, so it's like new beginnings. Pentacles can be motion, can be money, can be fear of money, but it looks like it's time to put down some of the things that are not as important anymore and that really take up too much of your time. It's feeling like new beginnings are right through this doorway here. It's just waiting for you. It looks like you have done some of the legwork on making these changes, whether it's doing a new resume, whether it's looking for a new house. But there is something that will give you great joy that you've been putting off for a while, but you've been planning on it, putting everything together. So when you're ready to jump, and that time is coming very, very soon. It looks like how things have been run. If you don't make those changes, you know, the people that you've been helping aren't going to make those changes. It benefits them. Why should they tell you to stop doing their work or stop fixing their problems or paying their bills or whatever it is? So you have to pull back and make you the most important right now. And those changes will happen. The pathway is just waiting for you to make those changes. And the Ace of Pentacles is what I call the God cards. It's really our karma cards. It's what we're put here for. So Gemini, maybe it's time for you to make you a priority. And for the most part, Geminis, I know that you do for so many people. And take yourself for granted and take your needs for granted and kind of maybe suffer a little bit unnecessarily. So it's time not to suffer so much. It's time to step into your greatness. It's time to get on the path of things that give you great joy and make those changes that you've been kind of putting off. You're prepared for it. You figured it all out. Just now it requires the motion to do so. That's it. Just the motion to do so. What is above you is this can mean pains of the heart. It can mean an affair. It can mean some kind of deception. But for the most part, it means some kind of heartache. So it can be a a divorce, a separation, something from the past that you're holding a little bit too heavy, and it's time to move on from that pain of your heart. It can mean that you're grieving as well, not only a relationship change or a relationship demise, but it can mean grieving the physical death of someone that was very close in your heart. And it's something, you know, we all grieve at our own pace and in our own way, but it does look like something that has been in your heart, and that you have not allowed yourself to either love again, or you have not allowed yourself to move on from a death of a dear one. So I encourage you to jump into your life and to your happiness. And if it is someone that has passed over, that has left the body, bring them with you. They will always be in your heart and in your head. But for those of you that are kind of still grieving a relationship from the past, it is really time to move along and time to open your heart. And I think that you're ready for that. There is, and it could be with, it's time to embrace some self-love as well, and not do the martyr stuff, not do the woulda, coulda, shoulda stuff, but it's something of the past that is difficult for you to move on from. So the Emperor is here, and he is the exalted one. He is, you know, doing the right thing. He is the responsible one. But sometimes if we're so responsible for others, we forget our own responsibility to our own joy and our own bliss. It's something, it's in the past. It looks like you have made a commitment for your own betterment to move some of this energy that is stagnant, that is keeping you in a place of sadness, or keeping you in an overworking place that is not necessary. And it's time to push other people's desires, wants, and manipulations out of the way. It's time to make you a priority and to stand in your nobleness. It also does look like people have been coming to you for advice. It can stand for you training someone at work to either take over, or passing the gauntlet to your children, to take care of, say, your elderly parents, or to take care of other responsibilities that you have kind of single-handedly been doing for way too long. So now it's time to delegate a little bit of the responsibilities. We know, Gemini, that you're really responsible, you're really capable, but now it's time to heal yourself a little bit. And it does look like, I'm feeling that if you continue on this path of doing things that are so that are too responsible, you're taking up everybody else's responsibilities, that your body will kind of take a hit. And I'm feeling like stomach area, heart area. So be careful of your health, that you are treating yourself with love and kindness, not taking on too much stuff in this world that makes you sick or unhealthy because you're not paying attention. So that is something in the past. The Three of Cups here, and you have some threes here. So finding the balance, finding the triad, you know, making things work between work, home, and personal life type of thing. Finding the balance, and you can find the balance, but it does look like you have been out of balance, that you've been giving too much energy to work, or too much energy to family, too much energy to personal. So find the balance between all those three. And this is one of great joy. This is one of reconnecting with people that you can just be yourself with, Gemini. People that you feel comfortable with. You know, you can say that off-color joke and nobody looks at you funny. And they know your personality. But it's time to reconnect with those that you've kind of let slip from the past a little bit. So it's time to communicate, to connect, and to get out of your cave a little bit, Gemini. It's springtime. Get out there, go bowling, go on a hike, you know, do the things that you find wonderful and joyful, and not being so solitary. So reconnect with your bliss and with people that like to celebrate with you. The Queen of Cups is here, and she is a noble one. She can stand for a water sign. That's Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. And this feels like more of a friendship, or rekindling a friendship, or letting some of the bad stuff go from a friendship that didn't serve you in the past, but like making amends and being able to move forward from it. This Queen of Cups feels either partially responsible for this grief or in connection with this grief. This may be a sibling that is also grieving over, say, a deceased parent or but this is someone that it looks like you had a little bit of static with, and it's time to clean that up. You are different people now. This is in the future position, and now it's time to accept this relationship for what it is, not for what it was, and to release any animosity. And, it's okay to take the first step, even if they are not. But it really feels like a big shift in this relationship for the better, and really bygones being, let bygones be bygones type of thing, and accepting each other for who you are presently. This can be an ex-spouse, and for those in a female body, this can stand for maybe an ex-friend, something like that, if it isn't a spouse, and it can be an ex-spouse if you're in a female body. But the Four of Swords is here, so it feels like maybe your sleep has been a little disruptive, maybe your mind is a little overactive, your problems hanging over your head, which may be disrupting your sleep as well as your digestive system. But it does look like this window is lighting up for me, that all your answers are there, all your answers are within. Just don't take too many projects on at once. Take one at a time, resolve it, and then move on to the next. But it does feel like things are slowly being resolved. This sword here feels like that some resolution is starting to happen. But don't look at the big picture and try to solve everything all at once, one thing at a time. But it also looks like pay attention to what's happening in your dreams. A lot of our fears come out in our dreams. We get a lot of answers to the questions that are vexing us in our dreams. So it looks like you have a very strong spiritual connection to your dream space. So pay attention. You may want to start a dream journal maybe for this month, or even for the week. Just wake up, write some of your thoughts down. Don't look at it. Sometimes it's just a matter of clearing it out. It may not make sense to you at the time. So take a look at it maybe later in the day, and it will probably make more sense to you. But it does look like your sleep has been compromised for a while. And for those of you, it can be too much sleep, and it can be not enough sleep, or disruptive sleep, interrupted sleep, things like that. But when you look at the big picture and try to solve everything at once, it really does disrupt our sleeping patterns, our eating patterns, and our general kind of base grounding things. Eat, sleep, think, all the simplistic things are disrupted sometimes if we get that overthinking stuff happening. The Hangman is here, and this is one of my favorite cards. It means really a change in perspective. We're still living the same life as we always have, but your perspective has changed. You may have lightened up a little bit, allowed yourself a little more free time, allowed yourself a little less stringency in your own routines. I know air signs can be very, very routine oriented. So Gemini, I encourage you to switch up some of those routines. If you do laundry on Saturday, try it on a Wednesday and see what happens. You have the whole Saturday for yourself, by golly. But it does look like it's going to free you up from things that you've put boundaries on for your own self. So lighten up a little bit, Gemini. Allow yourself some deviation from the norm, from your patterns. Pick a new pattern. And the Hangman, the best way to kind of describe it in physical terms is it's like if you're playing checkers or chess, and say you start out as you're the black man on the game, and you're halfway through the game, and you take that chess or checkerboard and you turn it around, and suddenly you become the white or the red man. It's the same game, but the game looks completely different from it did. from the perspective of before. So that is what is in store right now with just making a small change in routine, lighten up on the have-tos that you have imposed on yourself, and shake it up a bit, Gemini. Just shake it up a bit. King of Cups is right here. I am feeling like that is someone that you do come to for advice. That is a water sign, a Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. So it's someone that has been encouraging you to make these changes, it feels like, and to make these movements. This is the 10 right here. So it's between the Hangman and the 10 of Pentacles. So it does feel like a change in home, whether it's painting it, selling it, buying a house, moving. It can also mean incorporating others into your household, but making a slight change to make your life a little less stressful and to enjoy your life a little bit. But it looks like this person, it feels like a male, feels like it's someone over 30, possibly 40, someone of great importance in your life, and someone who you trust, someone that can tap into the emotions. You know, cups are emotion signs. So someone that's kind of pushing you in a good way. So, you know, don't shut him down. Don't shut him down. Take a listen to what he's been telling you for a while. And it's time to really jump into your greatness and slow down a bit and enjoy life a little bit. It doesn't always have to be everything that's on the list. So the 10 of Pentacles is here. 10s are endings. This pentacle is lots of changes, either coming to an end or you're starting those changes that you've been putting off for a while. It does have something to do with family and home, so it wouldn't surprise me if all of a sudden the place that you've always wanted to live, maybe an apartment, becomes available, or the house becomes for sale, or it becomes very obvious that you should leave this home and go to that one, or a job comes up. But it does look like it's something that you have wished upon for quite a while, and it just kind of falls in your lap. So don't pass a miracle by, Gemini. Jump right in there and make those changes. Jump through the fear. And it does look like fear has driven you for quite a while. This is the 9. This is the 9 of Swords. It also is a disruptive sleep pattern type thing, but it also means you're living too much in your head. So shut that stuff down if you can and try some movement. Take that first step. You know, you walk through fear. Usually it's a lot less fearful. It wasn't as hard as we thought it was. It's just like learning to drive. We're all petrified to learn to drive. And yeah, we'll make mistakes. But it looks like, you know, you get behind that wheel, you make the mistake and you keep going and you learn from those mistakes. So now it's time to let go of all the things that have been really living in your head, the mistakes that you've made of the past that you cannot change. You know, we get very, very fearful when we live in the past and extremely anxious when we live too much in the future. So and depression is also kind of keyed in or tied into living in the past, the things that we cannot change. So it does look like you're going through this big epiphany, that you're taking one final look at these things that have been renting too much space in the middle of your head and really releasing them. It's standing in the way of your joy. It's standing in the way of your future happiness and disrupting your sleep. And it looks like your digestive patterns. And that can manifest either in stomach ache, going to the bathroom too much, not going to the bathroom at all, not eating, a lot of things like that. But it looks like you're really ready to make those changes. But you have to look at them all again one more time before you let them go. There is justice on the other side. So for those of you who have kind of been embroiled in a legal battle, it does look like justice will prevail here. So the thing that you've been fearing, and it can mean it's something as simple as, you know, cleaning up parking tickets or something that you have avoided and not looked at. It could be finishing your taxes, and it could mean, you know, getting money back for your taxes. It is something to do with a legal responsibility or something that is tied with a court. And it's right next to a 10, so it really feels like it is a completion. There is fear on the other side, justice on this side. So it's the balance between having justice and being fearful. So walk through that fear so you can make those changes. Justice will prevail, and it looks like sometimes our mind tells us that it's one thing when really we do it, it's another. It's really another. So time to jump out of those fears and make those changes for the better, Gemini. And guilt really has no place in growth. You will not grow from a place of guilt. So it's like you're having an epiphany month. It really feels like this is the month that's been building up to all these things living in the middle of your head, all the things that held you back from growing, all the things that held you back from choosing you and your happiness first. Guilt has no place in the world of abundance. You cannot create from a place of guilt or fear. The place to create is from abundance and love. And that is, it looks like your paradigm shift, your own personal paradigm shift, which is the Hangman that is represented here. So normally you have a lot of patience. So take a look at the impatience of you changing and let go of the guilt. It'll move a lot faster. It really has no place in present time, and it does not serve you, sweet Gemini.